to be updated and refreshed if it is not user generated content. So to enable that, you need a content management system wherein you can manage this content and update these sites regularly, which these frameworks enable with ease.
Okay, so just a question: is it possible for someone who's just started a new business and he wants to develop a site using WordPress, but WordPress is based on PHP? Can you is it possible to not get in depth into PHP but have a very basic understanding of some key functions and key functions and start customizing the site, or you have to rely on a programmer,
No, basically as a new user or as an entrepreneur, if somebody wants to start up something, he or she can definitely do it on his own using a lot of these frameworks. When I say frameworks, these come with help and FAQ guides, and with basic technical understanding, a person can easily develop a basic website,
right,
which could basically take in a form. It could be a form-based website wherein you take in input like name, sex, age, address, etc., and based on that you store it back into a database and send them a thank you related piece. Or you can throw up and then probably say welcome so and so and do basic content rendering. So those are things which can easily be created, including blogs, for example, which is WordPress piece. And Niral, to answer your question, the books in the market for PHP, there are various books in the market, but I always recommend learning on the web, on the net, and there are a lot of sites which are available which give you good insights and good examples as well while developing PHP sites. It's a good startup for anybody who wants to start learning PHP and creating websites.
Any sites that you would, maybe W3 Schools?
W3 Schools is there. PHP, My PHP is there's a site called My PHP, etc. as well, and there are 2 or 3 more sites which are available.
Cool. Right. So it is PHP is cross-platform, not only in terms of the web servers it supports, but also on the OS front. And we were just discussing that the LAMP framework is among the most popular. So is it a very common framework that is being used in the web fraternity?
Yes.
And LAMP. Okay, maybe you can tell them what LAMP is.
Okay, first of all, LAMP stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Today, in terms of programming languages, when people look at developers or look at technology aspects, people specify Microsoft or LAMP per se, which is basically a completely open source. Linux, Apache, PHP and MySQL are all open source technologies which are used in order to develop websites, and with the knowledge of these 4 basic things, one could easily create websites and not only basic for personal use, but it could be enterprise grade as well. And today most of the websites today, including ours, Hungama.com or any of the big sites, are mainly are created on PHP, on the LAMP technology itself.
Right. So let's just look at a typical flow for a server-side script, when it is run on the browser.
Okay, so typically how it works is, how does PHP work? Mainly, you go to a browser like an Internet Explorer or Firefox, open up a website which calls a particular URL from the web browser. It opens up a website and the user is asked to probably enter certain data, like for example a username, password. When you click enter, it does a particular action. The browser sends all this request to a web server, at the back end, which is your Apache server. Apache server then hands over this information to the PHP engine. A PHP engine checks, or the PHP, actually the code will check with the backend resources, which could be your database like your MySQL, whether the in order to authenticate that user. If the user is authenticated, then basically the login page or the content page is thrown up, and accordingly an action is taken for the user.
Right. Right. It's not a very visible slide, but basically the point that we're trying to make is that because it is open source, and we were in fact just discussing this before the webinar started. There is a lot of help available online, and you'll typically find that your your queries get solved in a matter of few hours. So it's in any open source product. You can imagine that to have a support team of thousands of people all over the world. So you're really not alone when it comes to any issues that you're facing. It's a well-known fact that PHP is very popular, and it's used in some of the most well-known sites today: Facebook, Flickr, Yahoo, and Tag.com. And we spoke about the fact that sorry, a lot of most of the CMSs use PHP. Yeah, so this is just an indication of the fact that the number of searches, right, for PHP and Ajax are increasing, and increasing quite rapidly.
So there's enough job market there for people to with good PHP knowledge to come out and get good jobs as well.
Yeah, and we were just discussing this, and I was trying to ask Rohan. His company is among the biggest internet companies in India, and all the work that they do is in a lot of the work they do is in PHP. So just trying to ask him, from the job perspective, or should someone who's just new in the technology field, would it be a good proposition for him to start learning PHP directly, as opposed to learning Microsoft and then doing PHP, which is what is happening a lot today. So yeah, maybe Rohan can just talk about that.
Yeah, so my answer to that was basically that yes, today companies are looking at a lot of open source technologies for development and or creation of websites, and definitely there is enough marketplace available for guys with knowledge of PHP and MySQL, etc., to come in and start looking at studying that right from the time day one after probably their graduation, and taking it as seriously as they would do it for any other technology like Microsoft or Java.
Right, and all said and done, the more niche you get, the more premium you get in the job market. So there is no dearth of PHP jobs today, especially you go to any web design, web development agency. People are developing web applications, and there are a lot of these companies: Bangalore, Pune, Bombay, right? So there is no dearth of of the right number of PHP jobs. So some sample, so there is a wide canvas of applications which can any application which and it could be a simple application that uses a database for storing some key data, and on the client side a browser. Even for small applications like this, people are using the PHP MySQL combination. Right. So we've spent some time talking about open source, and it is mainstream today. Biggest example out of the four that you see on the slide could be Apache, because it is it is more popular than its proprietary counterpart, I guess. Right. So it is the most popular.
And with regards to operating systems, I would say. Android will be the future going ahead, wherein there are a lot of applications. When I say applications, these Android's going to be used in mobile phones and washing machines and televisions and across various devices, and obviously you will see a lot of more growth of that simple OS which these Google guys have built out.
Right. Yeah, and there are some very cool things that you can do using PHP. So it's possible to build a search engine for example, that responds to user queries, or we've spoken of how you can customize WordPress and make it a site if you know some basic PHP, processing electronic payments, etc. Yeah, so it's important to this applies for any language. Actually, it's when you're writing code, it's important that it should be one which is easy to enhance and maintain, and open source is a great alternative when it comes to doing these things.